Hi, I'm Candy. I'm with TrueVentures, and unfortunately I couldn't be there tonight to tell you about your two trips, but I wanted to give you a kind of rundown on what the two options were. So we're going to start with New York. Mr. Lindquist should have given you a couple of different summary of inclusions, so I'm just going to run down them, or down the summary of inclusions, and it kind of give you an idea of exactly what's included. It starts, I have the same one you have, so that you know that as I'm looking down. You'll have round trip airfare from Tampa to JFK or New York in general, wherever it is that we're going. You will have the Metro passes for the whole time. Last year they did Metro passes in DC and it worked great. It gives you a good education of New York, and you'll learn, I think Subway's the only way to travel, so you'll enjoy that. You'll also have 4 nights at the Sheraton New York Times Square. That's about 5 blocks from central Times Square. Literally, you'll walk out the front door of the hotel, hang a left, and you'll see it. Trust me, it's right there. It's not far at all. As far as breakfast are concerned, what we're going to do, we have included money in it, so we can do, if you want to do Planet Hollywood every single morning, they do a buffet breakfast. They'll change up the menu every morning. Or you can take the cash and go to a deli and get the biggest bagel in the world. So it's completely up to you. We certainly have some time between now and then to do it. For your lunches, the same thing. It'll be cash meal vouchers. Unless we decide on some other options. Earl of Sandwich, if you've ever been to downtown Disney, you know what Earl of Sandwich is. They have it in New York, and they'll actually deliver it. So perhaps you're in Central Park, you want it delivered there, you can actually have it delivered. So one of your lunches can be that, or it can just be at a McDonald's, in Times Square. Your dinner, Ellen's Stardust Diner. It is a diner, so you're gonna have meatloaf, diner food, that kind of stuff, but all of their waiters and waitresses sing, so it's a really fun experience. Playwright Tavern is a pub. It's 3 stories, but it's definitely a unique New York experience, so it kind of gives you a different option on food there. Planet Hollywood for dinner, same thing. You'll have a prefix meal, which means you'll probably have 5 different options to choose from, but it'll kind of give you a little bit more time, because if you decide to go for breakfast, even if we do breakfast one morning at Planet Hollywood, you're probably not going to hang around as long. So at dinner at Planet Hollywood, that'll give you the time to look around and enjoy Planet Hollywood as an experience. Buca, you live in Brandon, or the Brandon area, so you know what Buca di Beppo is. It's a great high school food because it has lots of food. So you'll have a 72-hour hop-on, hop-off tour bus. This is going to give you obviously the loops that you see there, and it's probably more time than you honestly need. However, this is going to give you a good transportation option, and as well, every time you get on it, it's narrated, so you're going to get on probably all of them. So, but you also have that night tour as well. All of the loops, for the exception of the night tour, are hop on, hop off. The night tour is stay on and be narrated to. Admission to Top of the Rock. A lot of you are familiar with Empire State Building, but you're not familiar with Top of the Rock. Top of the Rock is on top of the Rockefeller Center. Very similar to the Empire State Building. However, just a different view. Madame Tussauds. I did this in Las Vegas. I haven't done it in New York, but I probably will before you get there. The best wax museum I have ever been to. These things are truly lifelike. The one in Las Vegas featured more Las Vegas people. In New York, it's going to have that New York feel that you're going to expect, and you see the other options that are included in that. Ice skating at Rockefeller Center. You'll do that the same night you do the Top of the Rock because it's the Rockefeller Center. So all these times you've been able to see people ice skate, it's your turn. So, Central Park Zoo. And that's where, it's a small zoo, however, that's where the characters from Madagascar are recognizable from. So everybody should do it at least one time. Admission to the Museum of Natural History is actually where the night at the museum was taped. So this one has other stuff, you know, your dinosaur bones, that kind of stuff. So it's another option. And we can do some other different museums if the Central Park Zoo or the Natural History is not where you necessarily want to go. We've got some other options, and we can certainly put those in there. You'll have a backstage tour of Radio City Music Hall. Actually get to see the original, or where they have restored it back to its original state, as well as get to meet a Rockette while you're there. A photo in Times Square. Everybody will get one. The night that you do one of your Broadway shows, everybody will be dressed up, I'm sure, because that's what you do. You get dressed up and you go. You'll have a Broadway show, and you'll go and we'll all meet in Times Square and do a picture. So everybody gets that center of Times Square picture, all dressed up. Your group, you'll remember it. It's your senior class. You want to remember that. I'll skip down to 17 and go back up. 2 Broadway shows. What we recommend is, if you're going to go to New York, that you see Phantom. Many of you have probably seen it here in Tampa. Perhaps you've seen it in New York, but I highly recommend you see it in New York. First of all, it's a great price for students, but it's also, and that gives you another option that we can kind of go to. But also, being that it's the true theater where the chandelier is, that's the one I recommend. However, it's your trip, so you just make that decision on your own. But then we'll come up with, y'all choose another Broadway show that you want. The Statue of Liberty, we'll go back to 16. The Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island tour. At this time, Ellis Island isn't open, but by then it should be back open. Ellis Island is fantastic, and I will tell you that you're going to spend a lot of time there. Getting to see the statue is obviously one of those things, if you've ever been to New York, you certainly want to do. It's enormous, and it's absolutely, you cannot truly believe how big it is until you've seen it. The admission to the 9/11 Memorial, hopefully by then, it'll actually be the 9/11 Museum will officially be open, so we'll plan for that, but right now, we're just planning for the memorial because it's been scheduled to be open for the last 2 years now.